We got this Troll over for the team too as an Elemental Shaman making a return. And the Shamans didn't really get a lot of changes for Time, did they? Before Forkbeard could even get over there, the man is already zapping and back. The Elemental Shaman advantage over a warrior is massive. Got himself full ascendance, blasted the boy with just lava, as well as Frost Shocks to follow. Ice Fury join in. That's a lot of instant cast pressure. Forkbeard better have something for it. There goes his one little cloak. I was gonna say a little trinket that provides him a bit of a shielding. Although the damage he did to Thrall though, he had very little uptime on the guy, but the one charge he was able to make, he was able to put in some pressure into the guy for just a second or two. Gamer gonna be up next from one warrior to the next. Literally the perfect class for Thrall to deal with. Gotta be a reflect onto a Gamer. I'm not even sure what he would be able to reflect off of him. Healing surge to follow. Gamer does avoid the root off of that knockback though, able to get back in there, but yet another root from the totem is gonna end up entangling his little feetsies to the ground. As Thrall trying to find himself a bit of recovery. It looks like recovered health-wise and trying to see if he can wait out for some cooldowns. No more trinket available for Thrall though, as he does end up using his racial as well. Holding on to big defensives though, and that's the Sky Fury totem at the ready. Also has himself the Primordial Bow for the Lava Burst, playing that Lava build Shaman. And that's going to be immediate slow onto Gamer. Does go for the stun, gives him an opportunity to at least close the gap into a reflect off of a Lava Burst. As Trial barely takes a lot of damage from the Lava Burst himself into Earth Shock, Frost Shock combos. Gamer trying to go for a fear, trying to deny Trial the opportunity to at least escape his Wrath as a Furious Warrior. Got him some big Sky Fury, Lava Burst potentially, Earth Shock to follow, Frost Shock to give him some space. Definitely wants to take down Sky Fury whenever possible. That's going to be a Lava Burst flying in into a lasso as the Warrior does end up trinketing out of this one. More roots back to back. Looks like he is able to DR those roots a little. Still got himself leaps and charges. There goes the burrow. And Straw looking for yet another escape. The amount of escapes this man is able to commit here has been absolutely crazy. Big zaps over onto Gamer as he got himself a bit of that defensive stance. Lava Burst, Earth Shock flying in, Frost Shock to follow. There's nothing the man can do. He needs to close the gap. He might need to find a way to like get a stun into Thrall, leap in, go for his big enrage regen, and try to go for as much healing as possible. As the man is just getting barrage from a distance. There's literally nothing he can do. Every time he closes the gap, he gets knocked around, thrashed around like a beanbag everywhere. Knocked back as he finally closes that gap. There goes the charge. He only has so many of those. So many leaps and charges. Finally got himself an opportunity to unleash the Odin's Fury. Big bleeds roll onto Thrall. Quite a bit of damage as Thrall looking for a bit of recovery here. Gamer, one of the things he does have is second wind, so if he can maybe find a way to break away from Thrall, let a flame shock fall off, he can maybe recover some health, but I don't even know if that's the play. I think you have to stay aggressive. Freeze onto Gamer as he does go for a leap. Lava Burst again, Earth Shock to fall. I think it's over. Oh my goodness. A warrior can't really stop a Shaman. It's such a hard counter. As a Shaman, if you play it well, there's nothing you could do. Trying to see if we can go up to the next guy. It's going to be Holy Saya up next. Holy Saya, I don't know how Holy Saya is going to end up doing here. As Kragar trying to have a sit down with Gamer. Maybe giving him that Warrior's Burial or something. I'm not even sure. Oh, my goodness. Holy Saya does get knocked back. Skyfield right next to him. Thrall's still able to maximize the value of it. That's going to be a shield advantage broken through. Holy Saya does have one advantage over a Warrior though. Warrior has to fight in the melee. He has to get up close and personal, see the enemy's face, see the sweat on the brow to be able to even fight him. Holy Saya can do quite a bit of damage from a distance. Wake of Ashes to follow, stunned by the Earth Elemental. Got himself pretty big damage with his finisher. It's going to be Thrall trying to go for a little bit of a movement while casting with that Ancestral Guidance, I think, right? No. Spirit Walker's Grace. Bubble out of Holy Saya as it's going to be Thrall trying to see if he can bail out of that. Holy Saya could not really chase. He decided to go for full regenerate and wait for his cooldowns to come back. No more Crusade for a while too. Maybe about like a minute or so. Knocked back into Holy Saya. Does have Hand of Freedom, which is keeping him moving. That's going to end up helping him a ton. He doesn't have a lot of Hand of Freedoms, but the fact that he's got that range damage, he can at least counter and at least respond back to Thrall. Although Thrall can't get out of that 40-yard range with Holy Saya, where I think Holy Saya maximum range is maybe 30. Better than that over an Evoker though. Able to take down the totems little by little. Thrall's chipping away the guy's health. Holy Saya at least can generate himself plenty of holy power. Try to see if he can get himself a bit of recovery. Layer enhance to follow. No more bubble available. Most likely playing into a Blessing of Protection, not a Blessing of Spell Warden, which is not going to give him any immunity from magic damage. But at this point, should have a Hand of Freedom coming back up, right? Big Lava Burst. Earth Shock to follow. Holy Saya might be in a bit of trouble this way. Thrall wants to push in. As the root comes out into Holy Saya, trying to stay defensive right now for Holy Saya. This is a pretty good situation because he can finally get in the melee of Thrall, can maybe get some more damage in and generate even more resources than ever before. For Thrall though, he better be very careful. Try to go for a bit of a leap. Root into Holy Saya. No freedom for now. Hex to follow just to see him for a quick second as Thrall looking for a bit of a breather. as Ice Fury should be able to come out. Spell warning, he does play spell. Are you kidding me? Wait, so you deny that spell, you delay that spell until later just to get yourself maybe a better situation? That is actually pretty ballsy. Especially since you get, I guess you only have, what, Master Fruit and Kragar that are physical classes on the other team? So I guess the Spell Warden does make sense against those Double Shadow and an Elemental Shaman. Stunner to Thrall. There's going to be a slowdown onto the Holy Sire for just a second. Thrall may be in a bit of trouble. I think Holy Sire may just have him. Knockback last second. Thrall trying to see if he can get himself recovery. Does have a wall as well as a Guardian available. Might just want to use Guardian as soon as possible. Lava Burst sent in. Maybe big damage. Blinded Thrall does go for the trinket. Trying to see if he can end this duel right now. Lava Burst at the end. Oh, he does end up taking it. He does end up claiming it. My man just will not give up. That was actually so close, boys. Oh my goodness. As Duel challenge is going to be up next. Duel versus Thrall. Lexup immediately does not have a trigger for this one. Needs to get himself an escape. I guess a monk though, I don't know if a shaman's roots and slowdowns are going to be nearly as effective versus a monk who is a mobility incarnate. Them and demon hunters that generally get some of the best mobility in the game. That may be an feral druid. Some of the top mobility for PvP. All melee. Maybe like Evoker as one of the range casters or whatever. Maybe mage to some degree, but like when it comes to melee, definitely one of the best ones with a way to break out of the roots as well as slows. But also got roll and dragon kick. But it's going to be double earthquake on either side. The man doesn't even have any good footing whatsoever, literally stumbling over himself. There's only so much you can really do. But the knockbacks and the roots for Thrall may give him an opportunity here. Duel wants to go for the hit and run. He can always retreat back behind a wall. So as long as he is able to deal with the knockbacks and roots, then he should be able to at least keep himself positionally sound. That's one thing that Thrall is trying to do, trying to knock him out of position and then punish him for it as best as he can. But against the mobile class versus Thrall, which is also kind of sort of fairly mobile, I wonder which ways this is going to go. As he got himself what looked like lightning his head for a second from the tier set. Going to be a big old lasso onto Duel. As Thrall trying to get himself a bit of a earth shock with a route to follow. Knockback onto Duel, but he positions himself properly uphill. Or downhill rather, so you can only get knocked upwards. It's gonna be a freeze under Duel, try to go for a bit of healing. Still able to recover a lot of health, even at the 7-minute, 20-second mark. We are 37% dampening in with Duel, who also brings in 20% on top of that as a mortar strike effect, if not 25. And his Thrall is still able to get himself quite a bit of recovery. He got himself a Sudden Sprout for just a second with his Lava Burst. Wants to get back in there to get some damage on Duel, but Duel is able to avoid him entirely. Got himself a nice port to reposition behind the pillar, able to report back towards the center and then reposition behind the other pillar altogether. Lasso by Thrall. Does he get himself a decent setup here? He needs to knock this monk away from any pillars. Does go for the incap as he does get rooted. Does have to jab in order to break himself out of the roots and reposition, using the totems in order to get himself a little bit of mobility, which if Thrall positions them correctly, he might put the totems in a more than disadvantageous position for Duel, trying to throw down earthquakes. He knows that Duel is eventually going to run through those. Lava Bursts getting set up. Maybe big damage. Karma to follow. Expects big Lava Bursts out of Duel. Knockback as Zuen comes out. It's going to be a Hex to follow, which is not that great for Duel. Try to maybe go for an interrupt. No, it's actually just Thrall to give himself CC immunity or interrupt immunity. Knockback yet again as he's trying to go for big damage. Thrall, Earthshock, Frostshock, able to get the monk out in the open, able to go big blaster damage, big Sky Fury right after. Got himself a back-to-back Lava Burst. Does he have any more roots to follow him? Hopefully. Frostshocks, Earthshocks, does he have them? Maybe a leap. Got himself a wall. This is where Duel went in for a bit of damage. Got himself 4 brew, but also at the end of the day, retreat out of that position entirely. Thrall is able to somehow break into this monk little by little, but not quite breaking him over backwards yet. Lava Burst getting sent in, or Primordial rather, getting set up with big Lava Burst to follow. As Duel looking for a bit of a recovery behind the pillar. Still behind the duel right now. Still behind Thrall. But he may be able to somehow, if he can coalesce some cooldowns together, a break through it. He just sees himself a little bit of uptime and big CDs, maybe catch a quick interrupt onto Thrall. But he's playing very defensively at this point. Like, is he just gonna play defensive and just find a moment where he's in a good spot, a moment to break away? I guess that's all you can really do, right? Maybe you need the damper to be a little bit higher so Thrall does not have an easy time recovering. Wall as well as Guardian is down for Thrall to Duel. If he wants to make a play right now, it would be, I think, a good time, but he's still playing it super defensive. maybe waiting for a cooldown to Karma potentially. Might end up making a play off of that Karma. Incap to counter the Hex. Lexi, but the knockback does come out. Got himself a Karma off this one. Went to Serenity to try to see if he can make good use out of the short cooldowns whenever those are available. Let's try to go for big damage. Light the last off of this one. Big lava burst set up as the Skyfire is right next to the Duel, letting him know that he's going to take a huge amounts of damage. Going to be a Fire Elemental join in. Leap by Trial, just looking for a bit of a defense here. Wants to go in for big lava burst whenever possible. Root onto Duel. The Fire Elemental is going to end up putting some pressure on you behind the pillar. Looks like one of your battle masters trinkets or someone fell off. Not a lot of help to work with. Knockback, Root. That's going to be yet another port. Trying to go for a bit of recovery. Fire Elemental is still on you. Trying to go for a bit of the Soothing Mist. That is going to be Zuen on you. Is it Zuen or Zuen? I've heard some people call it Zuen over Zuen. I'm not even sure which I'm supposed to say. Big knockup, mad burst on the Duel. Oh my god, he used Burrow defensive in order to make it an offensive spell. Burrow does a ton of physical damage and he was able to burrow down, knock him up in the air, probably get a crit. It got a guy super, super low. It's crazy. Oh my goodness, with Jayhawk as the Arcane Mage, last one left. He's got to find a way to hold the fort for his team. He's got to find a way to break past Trial because this man has been holding the fort. He's been leading the charge, the vanguard of his team, not letting anyone take him down. Going to be a big Earthquakes onto Jayhawk, actually able to find him out of the invis. Jayhawk tried to spell steal as many buffs as possible. There was a lot of instant casts available for Trial, so it's not like Jayhawk can easily interrupt him. The Lava Bird's barrage is just going to break through his defenses really easily. Jayhawk needs to be careful here. He doesn't have a lot of healing compared to Trial. We are pretty high into dampening, so it's not like you can really heal for much anyway. Blink off of that lasso immediately zap to follow. Jayhawk is going to go for a little bit of reset behind the pillar. He does have an ice block. He could maybe make someone work off this one. It's going to be temporal to try to give himself a little bit of health recovery. His barrage is flying in on Trial back to back into an ice block. Realize that he just needs to go for a bit of a reset. He's trying to get himself an interrupt onto the Trial. That's what he's trying to do. Trying to get an interrupt, maybe land a breath poly, somehow maybe close the gap, freeze him, CC him or something to then be able to execute his burst. But by the time he figures that out, I mean, it's going to be a Trial with big lava burst flying in. Breath, finally, it's going to go for, oh my god. Wait a second. Krager decided, you know what, you don't get to survive. You don't even get a chance. What is this? In Krager's mind, he's probably thinking, you know what, this duel is over. This duel is over. Second, I can't have Trial taking all the spotlight here. What is happening here? Oh no, I feel like...